So after a long 13-month wait, the first episode of the new era of Doctor Who, of RTD2, is here, The Star Beast. This is my first impressions of the episode, my initial review, reaction recorded right after it's just been broadcast on BBC One this evening, Saturday the 25th of November. So let's just get straight into this. What did I think of that story? Well, if you've watched any of the videos on the channel recently, you'll sort of know about my expectations going into this and my predictions going into this, and I think certain things sort of did come true, certainly with the early half of the episode, and then, broadly speaking, in the second half, there were more surprises and things. In terms of overall impressions and opinions about this, yeah, I think broadly this really worked for me. I think it was really, really nice. Very warm and cosy, a lovely tone to it, lovely family tone, and very Russell as well. Very, very Russell. You know, it kind of had him written all over it, I think. There were lots of moments where you could kind of hear his voice speaking through the characters, like with the whole of the Noble family unit, particularly Sylvia, I think, you know, really with her there is a lot of that, things that she comes out with about her curry or about seeing an old friend down, you know, at the shops or something, all those kind of things, the little comments and remarks and the humour as well, you know, such Russell humour, things like the ridiculous kind of image of the Noble family and the Doctor and the Meep kind of moving through these 5 attics to get down the road to Sean's taxi. You know, the kind of absurdity of that, but also just the bonkersness and the brilliance of it as well. And things like Sylvia kind of walking past that guy sleeping on the couch, and the Meep also walking past and going, Meep, Meep, all that sort of stuff, lovely. And with the Meep as well, you know, the campness of the Meep, I'm not sure anyone, and certainly me, I don't think I was prepared for the kind of the level of campness that we got once the Meep had obviously revealed itself, whatever, to be evil. It was really weird seeing the evil version of the Meep, you know, having been so used to seeing it in its kind of, you know, natural, well, not natural form, but it's sort of good form. It's the act that's been putting on, you know, the whole thing, the cute and cuddly thing that we've seen, you know, ever since that first trailer was released, you know, showing it off on Christmas Day of last year, and all the merchandise and stuff we've had, the magazine covers where it's there looking cute and furry and cuddly and innocent, and, you know, obviously anyone that kind of knew the comic that the story was based on would have known that twist was going to come at some point. It wasn't, you know, a big secret to Doctor Who fans. I suppose, you know, some casual viewers would have been caught off guard by that, which is, yeah, it is nice to think, you know, nice and funny. But yes, that was really strange, kind of seeing it looking different, you know, with the different eyes and the teeth and everything, the spiky teeth. You know, obviously there were a lot more CGI enhancements involved, I suppose, with the evil iteration of the Meep. And in some ways, I think that because with the kind of the good version of the Meep, it was a bit more practical, it was less obvious, the enhancements that were going on there in terms of the CG and stuff. I think the evil one kind of looked a little bit more fake. I don't know if there's anything else they could have done with the kind of the costume to make it look more realistic. But regardless, the vocal performance from Miriam Margolyes was absolutely fantastic, and especially once, you know, the thing turned out, the twist happened, and the Meep was evil, and it was saying all this stuff like, I don't know, galvanise the gravity beam or whatever, and then like the unit soldier would go, gravity beam galvanised, or whatever it was, whatever nonsense it was. That as well, very Russell, very camp, but the whole sort of thing, and it kind of harked back, I think, to old Russell villains, you know, like Cassandra, just the whole campness of that, which I suppose won't have worked for everybody, but yeah, I thought it was quite charming, quite nice. And in terms of the plot overall, you know, I think, yeah, it served its purpose. You know, I think I said in my preview video, my predictions video with Miles, that we thought we knew what the first half of the episode was going to be, you know, right up until their escape from the fight on Donna's Road, which, by the way, was absolutely stunning, you know, with the good unit soldiers, the evil unit soldiers, the Wrath Warriors. I've been saying it wrong all this time, I think, and everybody has. The Wrath Warriors? And I need to go and check. I'm not quite sure. It's definitely not kind of the Wrath Warriors, it's like the Wrath Warriors, I think. But anyway, that sequence was fantastic. We knew that there was going to stuff like, you know, the flying jeep in the air that blows up and explodes. We knew stuff like that was coming from the filming and from the shots and the trailers. But still, that kind of whole set piece and the way that was intercut as well with the whole attic thing, with the Doctor and the nobles moving through these attics, the combination of and the contrast between and the juxtaposition between the domestic and the extraordinary. It's a Russell hallmark. He's so good at that, and it's just great to see more of that. And it's really promising, going into this new era. That's just in the first episode. So yes, I think Russell was on fire. In terms of the script, so much character and depth, and so much of people in these brief remarks and brief lines of dialogue. So much of that comes through, which is really, really great. And that whole Russell style, but sort of combined with something sort of resembling the Who we've seen in the past few years. That kind of the bigger budgets, the better visual effects, the better cameras and stuff. And obviously the Disney stuff that's coming now and the money from that. Just the whole thing felt like a Russell adventure, from back in the day, but on a bigger budget, and I've taken up a level. What was I surprised by in this episode? Well, I think kind of like that scene between the Doctor and Sean earlier on in the taxi. I'd kind of sort of sussed out that Sean was going to take the Doctor to the Steelworks. I think I mentioned that in one of the preview videos, the predictions video, whatever. But I was kind of surprised that there was an extended sequence between the pair, there. I suppose Sean never really met the Doctor, wouldn't necessarily recognise the Doctor, so that was nice to play with, the kind of whole thing of, oh, actually, these two characters don't know each other. The Doctor's sort of worked out who Sean is and who he is to Donna, etc. But there was that kind of, sort of unsaid thing going on there, that dramatic irony, I suppose, of that whole situation. Of course, with Donna as well. So much of that, the whole thing with Sylvia trying to hide everything from Donna. I mean, the humour there, again, fantastic. Trying to hide the Meep, trying to hide the Doctor, and the way all that stuff sort of converged, and it converged on the house. It's such a Russell idea, isn't it? Having all this stuff, all these aliens, all this drama converging on a house, on a street, in London, on an ordinary family, and it's about that, and it's about them more than anything else. The whole thing in the car park surprised me as well. The kind of thing where the Doctor grabs this judge's wig out of his pocket and sort of says, right, I'm going to be the judge or whatever, and we're going to have a trial thing. We're going to, make this into a courtroom type thing and have it out between the Meep and the Wrath Warriors, because he's worked out what's going on. I liked that. I liked how he was kind of one step ahead there of the other characters and of the viewer as well, in terms of sussing everything out and, kind of predicting the whole twist before it actually happened. And I suppose that was a bit of a departure for Russell as well. It kind of felt like a bit of a departure for him. It felt like something new from him, something that you might expect from a Moffat script in Doctor Who or in Sherlock indeed. So that was nice as well, kind of seeing him doing different things and flexing new muscles and all that kind of stuff. I really, really like that sequence. That was obviously shot, I think, in Wembley in a car park. I don't know why it was shot there. Maybe it was just to do with availability and stuff, because usually for something like that they film it down in Cardiff, but maybe, like I say, David Tennant and Catherine Tate and all these people were only available if it was in London. And the new TARDIS set sort of falls into this category of things I was surprised by as well. Yes, there were the leaks. I may or may not have seen bits and pieces of the leaks, but even so, my goodness, that TARDIS. They had hyped it up loads and it did not disappoint. It is beautiful. It is bigger than any other TARDIS set we've had before. Clearly, it's much bigger than it looks, even in the leaked photos and stuff. It'd been described, I think, as a logic-defying TARDIS interior, and sure, yeah, great description, and certainly in terms of the scale of it, just completely, utterly vast. I think we've been told in advance it kind of takes up a whole studio just by itself, just that one set, and I can understand why. All those roundels going round the whole thing, all of the walls, all of them had the roundels on them, everywhere you looked, and they all individually light up and can change colour, so we can have the mood-lit TARDIS as well, which is really nice. A lovely, beautiful set that I look forward to getting to know better. Obviously, as we move further into this era, I believe they will probably keep it for Ncuti as well, but that remains to be seen. But certainly I can't wait to go back to watch that sequence and to look at photos and stuff of that TARDIS. I might have a separate video on it because it is just so nice. So what, if anything, didn't I like about this episode, and what as well do I think other people might not like about it, rightly or wrongly? I think for me, so some of the music I will say sort of felt a little bit sort of extra in places, like it was trying a bit too hard, and that is something that people have said about Murray's music in the past, for Doctor Who, sort of kind of telling you what you should be thinking or feeling almost, kind of telling you too much about the mood and not letting the viewer kind of work it out for themselves. Particularly in that early sequence where the Doctor's kind of strolling around Camden and stuff, it just felt like, do we really need that kind of jolly sort of upbeat music there? Do we need that? I don't know. Maybe people have different views on that. I know, a lot of people are kind of looking forward to Murray coming back and kind of returning to the feel of his old episodes. And certainly elsewhere in the episode, you had Murray kind of meeting that challenge and understanding that assignment of, making this sort of Pixar version of Doctor Who almost, in terms of the warmth and the whole feel of it, and with the invasion as well, and the meat turning evil in the second half, the kind of the doom-laden music as well, the big bombastic music there. Bombastic, that is a word with Murray, that is used a lot. I did like as well that, we got some callbacks to Donna's theme, or the Doctor Forever, the Doctor's themes, little bits and pieces like that, and no doubt new themes as well, I suppose, to pick up on that we haven't noticed yet. But yeah, one or two moments that didn't work there for me, I think. Obviously, I think there's some stuff politically in this that some people will have a problem with, but I thought, my God, it was handled with such joy. Like, how could you hate the way that stuff like Rose was handled, the whole thing with her? I mean, she as a character was just so great, and Yasmin Finney as an actress anyway, but yeah, how could you not love her? How could you not think that this character is so great and so full of joy and such a beacon of light and a really kind of nice, new, refreshing character for Doctor Who? Obviously played into the ending as well, which, I suppose, like with the details of that, I'll have to go back and sort of get my head around exactly sort of how all that came together. But certainly my kind of overall impression, my first impression of that was, it was convincing enough, and kind of what it stood for and what it meant. That's what matters, and I think it worked really nicely. It tied into the whole Dr. Donna thing as well. I can see people kind of sort of making accusations of, that Deus Ex Machina thing, with this. Like, the ending was too quick, it came together too quickly, it didn't make any sense. I think for me, it just about worked. I think the whole thing with the Doctor and Donna, the stakes there were really nice, where we had them both in the ship and the door kind of goes down between them, the sliding door. It's like, okay, this is where it's going. It's like, they're both there, they're both trapped. The Doctor's going to have to get her to awaken that kind of Time Lord part of her brain again in order to save the day. Brilliant dramatic stakes there, lovely stuff. Narratively, I thought that worked really nicely, and obviously the kind of the eventual moment where she does realise who she is, Donna, as well. Really liked that, and the way we've left it with her as well, I think overall is nice. It kind of feels a little bit quick to have Donna getting her memories back and everything being okay so soon. It kind of felt like that might be a little bit of a bigger plot point across the three specials as a whole. But no, that's all kind of been resolved now. But at the same time, I'm not sort of against the way it was resolved, the way that Rose played into it as well. I thought on the whole it was smart. It was maybe a little bit convenient, but it was smart, and it was a nice sort of message, I think, with that. I just know that people are going to take issue, or some people are going to take issue with the way the sonic screwdriver was used in this. All these accusations that we always get about it being like a magic wand, or being able to do too much, or having too many abilities. There are certainly some new abilities here, like it being able to project these screens of data almost for the Doctor to look at. And then also, obviously, the kind of the most notorious thing, I suppose, where it's basically kind of is used like a magic wand to create these shields to protect the Doctor and co, and to get them upstairs and to protect them from the firing Wrath Warriors and the soldiers. Again, I think actually for me, this works. I know and understand why people don't like the Sonic being used in this way, but I think both those things serve the plot. I don't really have an issue with it. What else can I say on that, really? I know people will take those bits out of context and go, don't like that, but it didn't bother me, really. Obviously, there is so much more to say and to speak about, like the new title sequence. We didn't get a trailer for Wild Blue Yonder as well. I'm not sure what's going on there. And there are no doubt other bits and pieces that I've forgotten to mention or to bring to your attention here. But for first impressions, I think that will do. That's kind of what I thought overall, broadly speaking. Favourable towards this. I thought it was great, and it kind of did everything that it needs to do, and just a really nice, warm, fuzzy feeling that I got from this. But what did you think of The Star Beast? How did you find it? Did Did you like it, dislike it? What did you like? What did you dislike? Whatever your thoughts, let me know down in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more stuff like this in the future. But otherwise, until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.